So you're running a regenerative farm and you've got all this meat in your freezer, or you're running a vegetable garden and you have tons of vegetables you just got out of the garden. And the problem is you don't have a way to get rid of it. You don't have a way to sell it. You've been posting on social media and you might send it to 100 people and 4 people might get it because of the social media's algorithms. You're putting ads on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, only to realize people aren't there looking for food. I realized on my farm, it wasn't just about posting more or trying to get my message out there more. It was about creating a direct line of communication from me to my customers. Let me show you how building an email list changed everything for our farm. So as someone who juggles farm life, working off farm, homeschooling children, marketing my products has always been a challenge. And not just marketing really, but reaching customers. I initially started out like most people with a Facebook account, an Instagram account, and we would market our products there. But what I learned about those is if you're putting up a birthday picture or it's your birthday, if you're changing your profile picture, if it's a wedding, it's going to be sent out to everybody. But you even give a whiff of you're selling something, you're trying to do something business related, they're not going to show it to anyone. And those algorithms are made by some of the best minds in the world. They're pretty smart. I found that posting on social media, I'd have 600 followers in my friends list and it might go out to 3 or 4 of them. The reach was really bad. And that's because Facebook, Instagram, all of those have business models where you have to pay if you want to get your business message out there.
Won't you do it for free? Nope.
You have to boost your post. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that. And it's not to say that doesn't work, but I don't want to have to pay every time I send out an email or market a product or get a message out to my customers. If you felt that frustration, you're not alone. It's one of those lessons I've learned that if you don't have a direct line of communication with your customers, your farm is in jeopardy. Your business is in jeopardy because even though you may have a lot of products, you're not going to be able to sell them. Now combine that with, what if your social media account gets hacked? What if they just up and change the algorithm of the social media where maybe what you are doing is working and then all of a sudden it's not? I equate it to building a business on rented land. You don't own Facebook, you don't own Instagram, you don't own any of those channels. And so building a business on that is dangerous because the people that do own it can change the rules on you for their benefit, not yours. After a few years of learning all of these trials and tribulations with dealing with social media, we figured out what the answer was, and it was super simple.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
So we're down here, we've got the cows behind me. If you're running a farm selling any product, you can relate to the frustration of not being able to move that product. You can relate to the frustration of putting a lot of work into a post or into a reel, a short, and getting no feedback, no response at all, not moving a single product. For me, that caused a lot of anxiety. We depend on our farm for income. We work part-time off farm, but the reason I'm able to do part-time is because the farm supplies the other half of that income. When I put a lot of work into a post and it doesn't do well, that's sales that I'm missing. That's income that's not coming in, and that's scary. And just the more that happened, the more I thought about it, the more I realized that I really need to connect with my customers and not depend on social media to do that. And the whole solution to that was building an email list. I'm sure you've already figured that out or knew that was coming. Email list is the most important thing you can have for your farm. Why? Well, because it is a direct line of communication from you, the farmer, to your customers. Not only that, but you own it. There's no rule changes. It's not built on another platform. Once you get those email addresses, they are your email addresses. Those customers have given you permission to contact them, and you own that. No one can take that from you. And when you're trying to build a business, you can build this email list to a substantial way of selling your products. So, okay, building an email list is easy enough, but how do you do that? Where do you start? What do you do? Well, first, down below is a link to ConvertKit. That's what I use. There are other services out there, MailChimp, Drip. There's a number of different ones. I found ConvertKit great. If you're under 1,000 subscribers, the service is free to use. So I highly recommend checking out ConvertKit, and that'll get you started building your email list. They have landing pages, which are pages you can create that you can send your customers to, and they can sign up for your email there. They have templates for all the emails that you would sign up, so you don't even have to come up with that. You really just have to come up with the material. They have pop-ups that you can put on a website, and they make it very easy to build an email list. While we're talking about email lists, I'm going to give you a quick plug for our email list. Become a better farmer in just 5 minutes per week. This is a good example of what you can use through your social media, through your websites to then drive people to your email list. My tagline is become a better farmer in 5 minutes per week, but you could say make your family healthier in 5 minutes per week. Connect with your local farm in just 5 minutes per week. You could come up with something for your customers that would then want them to read what you're putting out there. I have a link below to my newsletter. Again, 5 minutes per week. We send out one email every 1 to 2 weeks. It's resources, it's tips, it's things that I've learned to grow my farm, and I'm sharing it with you for free. Check it out, but also check it out because it'll give you an idea of what you can create for your farm to then drive customers to your products, to your farm store, wherever you want to send them to sell more products on your farm. Another way that you can build your email list is through a website. I think it's super important for every farm to have their own website. They can change the rules on social media. They decide what you can and can't put on there. They determine the length of post, whether you can post a link. I mean, it's so many rules and those rules are always changing. The website, not the case. A website is yours. You create it. You put as many links, as many words, as many whatever you want on there. And that is your platform to get your message, your story, what you're providing, what you're selling to your customers and to the world. There are many website options out there. Some are really expensive, some not so much. It really depends on how much you know about building websites and such. I'll give a shameless plug real quick. We run a company called Homegrown Hosting where we create websites for farms. Websites built by farmers for farmers. There's a link down to that below. But there's also other ones out there. You really just have to do your research. But in my opinion, it's one of the best investments you can make for your farm. From your website, obviously, you can sell products online. You can write blogs and tell your story. You can provide updates about changes on the farm, sales. You can provide business hours, contact information, let your customers know where they can find you. And the great thing about it is you make the rules. Facebook doesn't make the rules. Instagram doesn't make the rules. It's your rules. You change the website as you see fit, you change it when you want to, and you make it work for you. Down below, you'll see a link for Homegrown Hosting, which is our website company, and the Part-Time Farmer. I created both of those, and I can put as many links in there. I can do whatever I want with them, and that's the main thing, is being able to share your message and get it out to people who have signed up for your email list who actually want to see your message. We have about 1,000 subscribers. I also run Long Bottom Farm. I can send out an email, and I usually get about a 50 to 60% open rate, which is great for emails. So that means I'm hitting 500 or 600 eyeballs that are not only potential customers, they are people that signed up because they wanted to see what I had to say. And it has become the biggest way that we move products on this farm. If we want to sell, we have a website, which a lot of our regular customers go to, but we also have our email list where I can post updates. We tend to run out of products a lot, so I can send out an email and say, hey, we just got restocked with grass-fed beef. Hurry before it's gone. And we'll get a ton of sales come through within a few hours after sending those emails. So for our farm, it's been a huge game changer. And I can't stress enough that if you're going to be successful as a farm or selling your products, you really have to have an online presence. Social media is a small part of that, but you really need to have something of your own, and that's a website and an email list. So you're probably wondering, how do I get people to this email list that you're talking about, Farmer Jason? Well, a couple of easy ways. One, if you're doing a farmer's market, that's one of the best ways. Put you out a clipboard with a sign-up sheet, kind of make it neat, maybe put some farm pictures around it, and let people know that, hey, this is our email list, sign up. We talk about sales, we talk about farm happenings, we talk about new products, and this is a way to keep in touch if you want to know what's available and what's going on our farm. We have gotten a ton of email signups from that. We also have a QR code. I'll link down below to a website that'll provide you with a QR code for whatever website you want. With my website, I created a page that is specifically for the farmer's market. So the customer scans the QR code and it goes directly to this page where it's just they put in their name and their email address, and that's it. That goes into the email list. Another way is social media. This is where you can use social media. And again, social media is not great, but I use it as what's called a funnel. Meaning I don't really use social media to sell my products. I use social media to tell my story, but I also use it to try to drive customers from that social media to my website, where then they'll be presented with, it could be a pop-up, it could be just part of the page, but somewhere there'll be a sign up for our newsletter, our blog, and that's what I use social media for. I found that storytelling, and when you're not actually trying to sell something on social media, it tends to reach more people. And if I can just get those people to come to the website and check it out, then they'll be presented with the email list, and hopefully they're interested enough at that point that they'll want to sign up. Again, we've used that to drive a lot of traffic to our email list. Another way is just to ask your customers. We have in the past actually provided little flyers that go in with an order that's being sold, and in that order tells customers, hey, you want to know what's going on? Sign up for our email list. Here's where to go. And you just give them an email address. That could be, again, a QR code printed on something. It could be just literally the email address typed out, and then they can follow it that way. That's another way to get customers who may be buying from you but aren't on your email list to get on your email list. Then you are able to remind those customers that you exist, you're there, and you likely have what they need, which is healthy grass-fed products, vegetables, organic, whatever you're selling. So those are a couple ways just to drive customers to your email list to get people to sign up. Again, growing that email list is one of your most important assets. A lot of small businesses, when they get big enough and they sell, it's not because of their business or what they have. It's specifically because of that customer contact email list. If I run a pressure washing company and I'm looking to grow and I know that this pressure washer company down here is selling the business, I want that email list because that's a ton of customers that have signed up for pressure washing that I can then use for my business and hopefully get more business, grow my business. And so email list, again, it's not just important for your business, it's an asset to your business that makes your business more valuable. So I can't stress enough how important an email list is to your business. It's helped grow our business to over 6 figures, and it's part of the reason I can work my other job part-time and still do the farm part-time. It brings in so much income, and it's a really simple method of reaching your customers. I can reach 1,000 eyeballs with our list right now. I can sit down for an hour and write something. Now that is something important. You have to provide value to those customers. So don't always be sale, trying to sell something. Our emails will consist of recipes. Our emails would consist of sometimes just stories on the farm, life stories. I've talked about our children and lessons we've learned with them. I've talked about homesteading things that we do. I really just try to keep it interesting, but always try to provide value, whether that's, a recipe that they can use. In telling my stories, I always try to relate it into a lesson that has helped me be not only a better farmer, but a better dad, a better husband, a better person. If you're running sales, obviously everybody loves a good sale. So just remember, in building your email list, you do have to provide good content, and that content needs to provide value. Again, consider ConvertKit. They're super easy. I've got a link down to that below. There's also MailChimp. You can use them. I believe under 1,000 subscribers, they're free to use as well. That's another email service you could try. As far as websites, again, we run homegrown hosting. Check that out. There's other services out there as well. But the main takeaway from all of this is don't build your business on social media. It can be taken from you. They're talking about banning TikTok at times. Instagram and Facebook are owned by the same company, and those rules are always changing. Just don't build your business on rented land. Start with a good foundation, and that's your email list and your website, and your business will definitely grow from that. If you want to see a video on how we move a ton of products using our email list and not having to leave the farm, check this video out right here.